Good evening. This is the June 9th, 2021 meeting of the Moscow Planning and Zoning Commission. Welcome, everybody. We have almost a full house, and Maureen, welcome. It's nice to see you here. So we have kind of a short agenda tonight, an important one, though. These relevant or reasoned statement of criteria and standards need to get passed in a timely way. So that's why we're here tonight, even though it's a relatively brief agenda. So, first item is the approval of the minutes from May 26th. Do we have any additions, corrections, deletions?
Didn't see anything.
Okay.
I so move.
Okay, Mike's moved to approve. Have a second?
Second.
Okay, Victoria second. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And abstentions? Okay, approved. Next item on the agenda is the public comment, time limit of 15 minutes for anybody that would like to speak to the commission for matters that are not before us tonight. Is there anybody that would care to speak? It looks like we don't have any takers. Okay, next item is the approval of the reasoned statement and relevant criteria and standards. This is for the preliminary subdivision plat for the property generally located east of the intersection of 3rd and 6th Street in Moscow. So do we have any issues, questions, corrections? Okay. Could we have a motion to approve?
I'd make a motion we approve.
Okay, so Dennis
Second.
and Joel second. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. On this next one, which is the second RCS that we have, just to let you know, I'm going to abstain from a vote on this because this is the one where Mike took the meeting and I did not participate. So I'll just wanted to let you know that ahead of time. So do we have any issues with the RCS on this project? Okay, a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Dennis moved. We have a second? And Joel second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And you can record me, Jennifer, as an abstention. So, okay. Moving along, Joel, a Transportation Committee meeting.
The agenda, the Transportation Commission will be meeting in this room tomorrow at 4. There are several items of interest. The issue of e-scooters and possible regulations, therefore, and possible license agreement for the providers of electric vehicles, electric scooter type bicycles. The third item on our agenda is the discussion of neighborhood traffic calming. The staff is proposing a formal procedure by which traffic calming could respond to neighborhood complaints, and formal procedure by which decisions would be made. So it should be an interesting discussion.
Great, okay. And next meeting is?
Well, the next meeting.
Oh, that is the next meeting, okay.
Yeah, the next meeting is tomorrow.
I could have paid attention. Okay, great. Mike, any correspondence, announcements from staff?
I think the only point of discussion is our next meeting, which I don't believe we have any applications pending, so I was leaning on canceling that meeting if it was all right. Typically, we cancel a couple meetings in the summertime just because of vacation schedules, but unless anybody has any.
That works well for me. I just asked Dennis to take the meeting because I'm going to be absent or would like to be absent. So anybody have any concerns? That works out great.
Great.
Okay, we'll catch you the next time around. So, okay, so June 23rd, consider it canceled then. So, one other thing before we adjourn, Victoria raised an idea that kind of struck a chord. Do you want to talk about it briefly?
came up to me this afternoon. I mentioned before, I think I did, part of our continuing education, water is such an issue. And I know that, we talk about the four alternatives, but all that is so far down the road. And I feel like I need more information and more understanding. I actually think a lot of us feel that way. I think certain council members maybe feel that way, and all kinds of people feel that way. So what I was thinking would be to have an informal discussion, fireside chat, something like that, where I want Tyler here, because Tyler is PBAC director. He's the deputy supervisor over streets, sewer, water. He's over the environmental services group. And so the whole environment thing is there. And I'd like Gina here, because she's the director of PEP. And so she's got her fingers on the pulse for development and business, and she's former Chamber of Council director. She's liaison on PBAC, housing and transportation. I would definitely want community development, that's you, so you're already here. And I would like us to talk about how do we feel about water? And what do we do between now and years down the road? The alternatives come into play. I don't have any answers, but I feel like there's a lot of discussion and a lot of feeling and a lot of concern, and I know council will be talking about it, but I won't be there when they're talking about it. I want P and Z to have some conversation and conversation with, if I've missed somebody, bring it up, but some conversation with people who can help give us some insights. What are we thinking? We're not going to stop growth. We don't want to stop growth. So how do we, and there are a lot of things, like this last thing you gave us from the real estate people, Association of Realtors. They talked about the 15 minutes. They cover a lot of things, and we're doing a lot of this. But I want to talk about water. I want water on the table.
Mike, part of the thinking here is, obviously, we don't want to do this when we've got a meeting with the public
right.
hearing. But if we've got a meeting coming up with a light agenda, maybe we could get Tyler and Gina, if she's available, and you, and just kind of have some open discussion about it, just to sort of looking at this almost like a continuing education for us as a commission. So let's kind of stay in touch about that and see. I know that there's going to be some public hearing activity probably coming up in July and maybe even August. But I think let's keep it on the burner. I think it's a good idea. Maureen?
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say in this or not, but
Sure.
Another person that you may want to think about is Barb Cousins, who taught water forever at U of I. And actually, before this even came up, we were riding bikes, and I said, Barb, would you be willing to come and talk about, just on the last 2 meetings ago, there was a discussion between water rights and water usage. And the answer was, well, we're only using half of our water rights. And the answer is, well, even if you have 90% of the water rights, the answer is, if it's got this much water in it, 90% of no water, it's still using our
water.
of usage and kind of those distinctions. And I know that if we give her some time with specific questions that you have, that I know she has different information on specific, other places that have done things on water, that may be of interest. So anyways, it's just somebody to think about, to give some overview of water.
No, that's great. Thank you for the suggestion. And I think that, Mike, we'll do some coordination on this, and, depending on Tyler's schedule, Gina's schedule, and Maureen, the name of the person again? I'm sorry.
Barb Cousins.
Barb Cousins, okay.
Cousens.
Yeah, Rob, I'd like another, just another thought about Victoria. I think it's a wise thing to do. Be intrigued. I don't know if there's somebody who could find other villages like our village that are located in places where there's no discernible water. In other words, could we compare notes with some other people? I grew up in Boise, Well, my gosh, a river runs through it. In the half acre where we grew up, you could dig down 20 feet, you hit water at 20 feet. That alluvial plain is significantly different than the poor people who selected this little valley didn't have any idea, of course. And I would just be intrigued. I don't know, Mike, you could keep your ears open. And Maureen, I don't know if this person knows, but in the water studies, you know, we have the annual
Yeah.
water meeting.
Right.
And it's droned on in similar ways year after year, but we've never got serious about comparing other places. You know, I mean, look at Coeur d'Alene. You think they have any water in Coeur d'Alene? Duh. You know, you wish the university had been placed in Coeur d'Alene. So those people, Lewiston, I mean, those people who have groundwater, my gosh, their situation is significantly different than those of us. We're a little place, and of course, we're watching Lake Mead go down every year. It's you're not sure you'd want to be in Las Vegas or LA or Phoenix in the next 50 years. It could be rough. I just have the feeling
Yeah, there's,
that we're going to fight about water. We're going to kill each other over water before we worry about oil. We might give up oil, actually, and still kill each other over water. I think it's a tough issue.
Well, I like the idea of getting more informed about it, because I think just about every public hearing we've had on any projects recently, water always comes
It
up
comes up.
as an issue. So, yeah, I think it's an opportunity that we could take advantage of. So, Mike, we'll work on trying to figure out what would be a good schedule for that, maybe in the relatively near future. So, okay, do we have any other issues for the good of the order? Wow, well, with that,
you were gonna, I mean. this-
oh, well, I would
Not
encourage,
tonight, yeah, but-
anybody that, I think everybody that was here got a copy of that. I would encourage you to read it, and we'll put that, hang on to it, and we'll put that on the table for discussion downstream as well. So,
Yeah, I thought this one was much better than the first two.
yeah, it was good.
And well worth our time to look at.
Okay, anything else? So a reminder, no meeting on the 23rd, and we'll reconvene, gosh, what would that be, July? Well, it's going to be way into July, isn't it?
July 14th?
Yeah,
July 14th.
14th, okay. All right, very good. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.